Let's register on the electoral list. This is a message from Equinoxe Television.
Good evening, dear viewers of Equinoxe Television. This is a 6 p.m. primetime newscast on Equinoxe Television. Thank you so much for joining us. First, our major stories. A significant crackdown on counterfeiting has led to discovery of close to 100 million francs CFA in fake banknotes in Douala. Authorities arrested a key suspect, a specialist in producing counterfeit currency at his residence in Bonamoussadi. The suspect's accomplices are currently on the run. Meantime, investigations is ongoing to track them down. And away from that, we talk politics. The national president of the Cameroon Renaissance Movement political party, Professor Maurice Kamto, warns against alert maneuvers to block his candidacy for the forthcoming presidential elections. Professor Maurice Kamto has issued a stern warning that any attempts to block his presidential bid could have devastating consequences. Those are our top story tonight. Stay with us for greater details. If you are just joining us, then know you're watching the 6 p.m. primetime newscast on Equinoxe Television. And for presentation, I am Immaculate Fogwe. Security forces of the Douala 2 Gendarmerie Company have apprehended an alleged manufacturer and distributor of counterfeit money. His arrest follows multiple complaints from the population about the circulation of fake banknotes in Douala. The suspect at the time of his arrest had in his possession 92 million francs of counterfeit money, including banknotes from East Africa. Details with Eselusilengu.
Fake banknotes ranging from 2,000 to 10,000 francs CFA displayed at the esplanade of the Douala 2 Gendarmerie Company. This is the outcome of a search operation conducted by security forces in Bonamoussadi, located in the Douala 5 subdivision. According to Captain Boboji Bello Jean, the commander of the Douala 2 Gendarmerie Company, this incident highlights the alarming circulation of fake banknotes in Cameroon.
Suite aux multiples plaintes des populations concernant les faux billets, la circulation des faux billets.
Following a series of complaints from the population concerning the circulation of fake banknotes in the country, the report was submitted to our superiors, the commander of the Douala Territorial Gendarmerie Group and the commander of the Legion. They instructed us to open investigation to put an end to this dangerous phenomenon, which is gaining ground.
Et qui est très dangereux pour les populations et la société.
A search operation was carried out at his residence in Bonamoussadi.
Les investigations ont permis de mettre.
Search conducted at his residence from 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. led us to the roof, where we discovered a large quantity of fake banknotes, 100 million francs CFA, including 92 million francs CFA and other banknotes.
De la Banque centrale des États de l'Afrique de l'Ouest.
The alleged manufacturer and distributor revealed that he had been selling counterfeit money, which he claimed to have mistakenly obtained in a store in Accra. The commander of the Douala 2 Gendarmerie Company urges the population to remain vigilant.
Aux populations, nous recommandons beaucoup de vigilance.
We call on the population to be vigilant during transactions,
parce que généralement les cibles sont.
As these incidents often occur when people exchange large amounts of money, we urge them to verify the money before accepting it.
Vous risquez de tomber dans ce piège-là.
Meantime, investigations continue to dismantle the vast network involved in counterfeit money manufacturing in Cameroon, while the suspect is currently in custody.
Asia Lucilengo reporting there. Now to politics. About 8 months to the presidential election, tension is gaining grounds in the political space in Cameroon. The friction between the administration and some opposition political leaders, notably Professor Maurice Kamto, is taking an upward trend. While accusing fingers are pointing to him for allegations of incitement to violence, he has warned that there could be devastating consequences on any attempt to stop him from running for the presidential race. Babla Jonathan reports.
Professor Maurice Kamto accuses the Biya regime of provocation, rebellion against the law, and state insurrection. In a statement, the president of the Cameroon Renaissance Movement, CRM political party, says from one conference to the next, the Minister of Territorial Administration, Atanganji Paul, has been multiplying provocation and insult and usurping the powers of other institutions like the police, Elections Cameroon, and the Constitutional Council. The CRM decries what it qualifies as targeted attacks by the administration intended to discredit the party and hinder its president from standing as candidate in the forthcoming presidential election. Professor Maurice Kamto warns against the consequences of any attempt to block his candidacy. He has called on militants and sympathizers of the CRN to be ready to oppose any resistance to his candidacy. On the other side, the blame over the controversies surrounding his candidacy is thrown on him.
Well, Professor Kamto himself, when he was boycotting the elections that were supposed to put in place MRC, MPs, senators, and council guys, he himself said that they were boycotting it in the knowledge and full knowledge and awareness that they would not, it would jeopardize their opportunity to go in for these presidential elections. Though the law still provides that he can go for those elections by doing one of two things. There are some parties in parliament, and so he can approach any of these parties and then ride on their backs to go for presidential elections.
Whatever the case, Dr. Nick William says violence is uncalled for.
Minister Tanganji, the way he says things, he has his own way of saying things, which sometimes is not the best. But again, to say that there will be war or chaos because of an election is something that is not very nice to hear.
Professor Maurice Kamto has once more urged the respect of the electoral law and other national and international laws duly signed and ratified by the state.
In the same vein, civil society actors in Cameroon are intensifying their efforts to bring about a change in governance. They are urging opposition leaders to unite and work towards renewal, while also encouraging Cameroonians to register and participate in the democratic process. These civil society actors have shared their vision with opposition leaders, which could potentially help reverse the current situation. Seri Chakutio tells us more.
These are nearly 30 letters addressed to the leaders of political parties by civil society actors working for sustainable development, inviting them to form a united front to achieve a change at the top of the state.
It's a request. We are not imposing. We wrote a request that they should form a coalition. And in these letters, we are trying to show them where we as individuals and as a people think that if they do not form a coalition, it will hurt the entire population of Cameroon. So if they can listen to us and the people create that coalition, they would have saved a situation. And I think that Cameroon is at a juncture. And if political leaders are wise enough, they will be able to take advantage of the situation to be able to contribute towards change.
In this election year, every component of Cameroonian society committed to change is called upon to play its part to the fullest to achieve a common goal.
Des Camerounais. On parle aujourd'hui de la guerre dans les noseaux. Ce sont les Camerounais qui sont en train de mourir. Et les Camerounais vont mal, il faut le changement. Tous les Camerounais désirent un changement durable qui peut amener à changer les vies des Camerounais.
Pending the governing of the electorate, this group of civil society actors invites Cameroonians to continue registering to vote in order to make the necessary choice when the time will come.
Those who are discouraged, go and register. The day will come, we will vote. When we register massively and vote massively, then 2.something million people decide that who becomes the president of the country. That is an abomination. They said if only political parties can come together, create a coalition, then they will vote. And I think that is a motivating factor to even encourage even the voters, the electorate, to say, okay, since these people have united, then we have a reason to unite also behind them.
According to them, united we win, divided we fall.
We can't keep on thinking only of our party and not the nation. The nation is supposed to be the main goal.
And away from politics, as activities gradually resume in Eshombi village in the Mayo division of the southwest region after years of the devastating armed conflict, the locals implore the government to assist them start the development engine. Infrastructural development, they say, will bring back those who had fled and encourage education as well as boost economic activities, a plus to Cameroon's economy. Innocent Aze reports.
Eshobi village found in the Manu division of the southwest region is one of the villages in Anglophone Cameroon with a halted development due to the over 8 years old escalated Anglophone crisis. Insecurity bars the way to infrastructural development, compelling the locals to travel over degraded paths and seasonal roads. Most often, they trek or use commercial bikes since vehicles do not ply the deplorable roads. Children were deprived their fundamental rights to education. The Eshobi primary school that was deserted by the teachers and learners is today in ruins, worn out ceiling, floor and walls. Today, the primary school counts at least 80 pupils who quest for knowledge and a brighter future. In 2013, we had more than 230 pupils. The number dropped since 2016 to present, but children have begun schooling and we implore the government to assist us with good infrastructures, didactic materials and security.
So that they begin them, they will learn fine.
Schooling hitch-free here, according to the head teacher. His testimony, numeracy is becoming a reality in Eshobi village.
All things on the finish, and the thing will begin the day for class. If not, like parents, and not bring them.
An inhabitant also affirms the head teacher's statement, everything has normalized.
At first, we'll be there like Uday inside here.
At first, we were living in hell. Attacks, killings, destructions, and the rest were order of the day for over 7 years. Since 2014, people have been going about their activities freely.
Our money and live our life freely.
While on a strategic tour in Eshobi, the senior divisional officer for Manu, Alienu Awonfak Eve Betran, told the population they are monitoring the environment for security dispositions. This will chase away the enemies of peace out of Eshobi village.
Everything has a beginning and an end. I want us to consider that today is the end of this crisis, and that Eshobi, as from now henceforth, will continue to develop and to reach higher heights.
He further demanded separatist fighters in the bushes to lay down their weapons and grab President Paul Biya's stressed peace plans that will safely convey them to the DDR Center for rehabilitation and later reinsertion into the society.
And away from news connected to the over 8-year-old armed conflict, we now talk something else. Environmental experts in Douala have called on local mayors to encourage the local population to plant more mangroves. This call comes as thousands of hectares of mangroves in coastal areas have been destroyed by inhabitants for domestic purposes, leading to floods. The call was made during a meeting in Bonaberry, one of those areas badly hit by a severe inundation partially caused by the destruction of some of these mangroves. Annabella, staff lady, tells us more.
In Douala, just like in other coastal towns of Cameroon, severe floods during the rainy season constitute one of the major obstacles to socio-economic activities. Most neighborhoods are seriously inundated whenever it rains heavily. Environmental experts explain that the destruction of mangrove ecosystems is one of the main reasons people in Douala are facing the negative effects of climate change.
Because we've realized that even strangers, we have Malians, Nigerians, they come cut this forest, disappear, and then we are losing about 6% of the mangrove every year. And so someday you get finished. Douala, for being an island, someday you have a flood situation where everybody will be swept. Because we've done a study and seen that in the next 15 years, floods could reach about 15 meters, meaning that all our investment will be wet.
The Douala 4 municipality most often is one of the areas badly hit by floods. Raising the initiative Generation Restoration aims at restoring biodiversity and other ecosystems brought together climate change experts to the Douala 4 Council in Bonaberry.
To preserve our mangrove, it's important to know that mangrove is alive. If we cut all our mangrove, we will have a lot of flooding. We will not have fish again.
Mayors of local councils in Douala, which is a coastal region, are told to encourage the inhabitants to practice sustainable deforestation or felling of mangroves. This means for every one plant or mangrove you fell, be sure to plant 2 of them. This, they say, will go a long way to reduce the adverse climate change effects, such as severe floods in Douala.
Staff Lady Annabella reporting there. Now straight away to health. Reports reveal that about 95% of children in Cameroon aged between 3 and 18 years old have never visited a dentist, while only 23% of them brush their teeth twice a day. To address this concern, a team of dentists in Douala marked World Oral Health Day, which is today, by visiting primary schools to educate children on the importance of oral hygiene. Mala Glory reports on the awareness campaign, which aims to teach these school children proper brushing techniques and the value of regular dental checkups. Her report.
The essential elements a child should know as far as taking care of their teeth and mouth is concerned.
We should always brush our teeth, and when we have a tooth sickness, we should consult the dentist.
When you want to brush, use a toothbrush and toothpaste.
These pupils were drilled on how to brush their teeth after every meal or twice a day. It was on the occasion of the International World Oral Day that an association of dentists known as ANOSC carried out a sensitization campaign in different primary schools in the city of Douala to raise awareness on the importance of a healthy mouth.
And the aim of this activity is to promote oral health and prevent oral health problems in the long run. We realize that if the kids at the age adopt good attitude and aptitude, by the age of 14 don't have their dental problem.
Celebrated under the theme, a happy mouth is a happy mind.
Because through your mouth, you can know whether you're healthy or not.
In a bid to care for your oral cavity, dentists provided some golden measures while emphasizing that home remedies are not advisable for children, but adults can only use this after seeing a doctor.
All those things that people take in the house can help, but have more consequence than good. So we advise our people and our community to go to a dentist at least for a consultation to know what they are suffering from before any action can be taken. Tooth removal is not the first option or the best one, except there's nothing we can do.
However, a report from the American-based International Medical Statistics Journal revealed that about 95% of children in Cameroon aged between 3 and 18 years have never visited a dentist, while only 23% of them brush their teeth twice a day. A major reason for more of such campaigns to be organized often in schools.
Over to sports. The Indomitable Lions had a disappointing draw against Eswatini, has sparked concerns about their World Cup qualification hopes. Sports analysts Lawrence Kede and Kasimi Wanzi attribute the team's underwhelming performance to overconfidence and fatigue. With a crucial match against Libya looming, the Indomitable Lions must regroup and secure maximum points to keep their World Cup dreams alive. Smajikan Gabriel, sportsman, has more on the team's must-win situation.
The goalless draw that was conceded by the Indomitable Lions against an opponent which on paper was a very small nation to the 5 times African champions has been blamed on some factors.
The build-up towards this game was really very poor because coming to Cameroon before traveling to South Africa made really no sense. It was better that the players get directly to South Africa, so I think we wasted much time.
The fatigue of the players due to the long journey they made and have to travel on bus to cover a distance of more than 300 kilometers is the first reason for the Lions' poor performance. For one of the journalists, the players were overconfident to win against Eswatini.
The lukewarm attitude of the players towards the game, we saw from the start kickoff, the players were overconfident and they thought that they are going to overwhelm and beat Eswatini at any moment. So they took their time turning around, and we saw some individual players doing their thing, hovering around with the ball. And at the end of the day, Cameroon was unable to get the magic formula in order to break down that great defensive wall put up by Eswatini.
While Kazimi Wanji says lack of training is another issue because most of the players who were invited played with their clubs on Sunday. The next day they were in Yaoundé, having no time to train. Even getting to know the Bombela pitch didn't happen. The play style of Eswatini was also another factor that led to the poor outing of the Lions.
The fact that Eswatini played with a double defense wall was big problematic for Cameroon. Cameroonian players have not been in the face of such a situation where they have to create something, they have to be creative in order to break down a defense wall. So unfortunately, we turn around the defense. We had maximum possession of the ball, but did nothing with it.
With the draw against Eswatini, Cameroon must do everything possible to grab all 3 points when they welcome the Mediterranean Knights of Libya and their new trainer, Aliou Cissé, who won the Nations Cup for Senegal on Cameroon soil next Tuesday in Yaoundé to consolidate their World Cup dreams.
That's it for the first part of this newscast. Talking Point is up next. Globally, nearly 3.5 billion people are affected by oral diseases, with 2.3 billion suffering from tooth decay and 796 million having severe periodontitis. This information was revealed by the World Health Organization. How can we limit the increasing cases of oral diseases? That's what we'll be finding out on today's edition of Talking Point. Tonight, my guest is Professor ASHU, a professor of community dentistry, dean of the Faculty of Dentistry, Université de Montagne, and director of Cabinet Dentaire, a hospital right here in the city of Douala. Good evening. It's a pleasure to have you on Talking Point tonight.
Thank you very much, Immaculate. Thank you for inviting me into your program. I'm very happy to be here today.
Professor, we'd like to know from you, what are the most common oral health issues you see or consult in your practice?
In our practice, we see a lot of dental caries, a lot of periodontal diseases. Oral cancer is increasing, and people are also having tooth sensitivity, especially women who take a lot of acidic foods like lemon, and also orthodontic disease, that is people who don't have their teeth are not well arranged.
Professor, today is World Oral Health Day, and a lot of people have limited knowledge on some of the signs and symptoms when it comes to oral or gum disease and other health issues connected to our oral health. How can this condition be treated, and what are some of the signs and symptoms of gum disease?
There are many signs of gum disease. When you brush your teeth and it bleeds, it's a gum disease that is called gingivitis. At times the gum can start bleeding on its own. At times the gum can swell on its own. Those are signs that you are having gum diseases, and it can be as a sign of some sort of vitamin deficiency or an infection on the gum.
We saw the reports done by Mala Glory where some children, primary school children, were being taught how to brush their teeth. How often should we brush our teeth, or let's say floss our teeth, and what are the best techniques to use?
We should brush twice in a day, in the morning after breakfast, and in the evening after supper or before you go to bed. You should brush for at least 2 minutes, and you should use toothbrush or toothpaste as your apparatus for brushing. You just need a pea size of toothpaste on your toothbrush, and the texture of your toothbrush matters. It is important to use medium toothbrush or soft toothbrush. That is, when you are buying your toothbrush in the market, you have to look at the packet. It is written behind it, soft, medium, and hard. And you brush from the gums to the teeth in a sweeping C type of movement. You start by applying toothpaste on the outer part of the teeth, the inner part of the teeth, the biting surfaces, and then you brush in a sweeping movement from the gum to the teeth. You brush the biting surfaces. You do the same thing up and down, and then the last thing you do, you brush your tongue, and when you finish brushing, you have to spit out the excess toothpaste and go along your daily activity. It is very, very important for you not to rinse your mouth after brushing, because it will remove the toothpaste that is healing in effect, or that will process your teeth.
And now, there are some myths surrounding the usage of toothpaste concerning fluoride or containing fluoride. Some people think fluoride can cause cancer. How true is this assertion?
The claim that fluoride can cause cancer is is not correct. It is not evidence-based. Fluoride that we use in our toothpaste is dosed. Normally, the normal dose of fluoride in our toothpaste is 1,000 parts per million. For adults, for children, it's 450 parts per million. It has been shown in Cameroon that people living in the northern part of Cameroon have mottled teeth, that is, their teeth are brown because of excessive fluoride in their water. Those who drink well water and from boreholes. And a study that was done by our university revealed that the amount of fluoride in the water is up to around 4,000 to 5,000 parts per million, and people have not developed cancer in that area. So what people are saying that fluoride can cause cancer is just a rumor. It's not actually scientifically proven.
What are some of the things to watch out for when it comes to oral health?
First thing is that you must observe any change in your mouth. If you see any change in your mouth, it can be a stain, it can be an abnormal growth, it can be a change in color on the biting surface, or a small hole in your mouth, or when you drink water, you start feeling some shocking sensations, or you have difficulties in eating, difficulties in opening your mouth. Those are things that you have to watch out, and it's just a sign to tell you that you have to see a dentist.
What role does diet play in oral health, and are there any specific foods or drinks that we should avoid in order to have a good oral?
Diet has two types of roles in your oral health. There are diet that can cause worsen your oral health. For example, you have sweets, refined. When you eat refined food that contains sugar, like cakes, like soft drinks that contain acid, these food items can actually affect your teeth because they will make you prone to dental caries. When you eat in between meals, it is advisable that you should rinse your mouth in between meals in order to remove the acid in your mouth. Or if you eat in between meals, you should rinse your mouth with clean water. Other aspect of diet that can help you to protect your teeth, you need to eat balanced diet. You need to eat diet that contains a lot of calcium and phosphate. For example, green vegetables, you need to eat something like eggs with nuts, all this food. And also there are some food that can clean your mouth, like coconut, like carrots, because they have this cleansing effect. They have this detergent effect that can clean your mouth. Food that are sticky, like chocolate, are very, very dangerous for your teeth. So you should avoid them. Oily foods can protect your teeth because it prevents food from sticking on your tooth surface and also prevent the formation of dental caries.
Professor AGBOR ASHU, Professor of Community Dentistry, Dean of the Faculty of Dentistry, University de Montaigne, and the Director of Cabinet Dentaire. Thank you so much for your time. That will put an end to today's edition of the 6 p.m. primetime newscast on Equinoxe Television. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for always choosing Equinoxe Television. Coming some few minutes is a program Equinoxe, so I'll search Alan Otu and his guest. From us to you over there, have a wonderful evening. Bye-bye for now.